I guess in the back of my mind, there is this fear about our food security and our local food supply and how farmers everywhere really are living, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, if that. I mean, I honestly don't know any farmer that only has one job. Usually, almost always, they have a second job. They go to their job 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and they come home and they grow food because they love it. They love to do it. They want to feed their community, but they can't make enough money to support themselves. So they do it because they love it. The answer I reached about why farming is so hard is that people don't know anything about it. Most people don't know a farmer. Most people who live in a city or a town have never been to a farm. So when I teach members of the public, they're starting from scratch. They don't know anything about how food is produced or what it looks like in the field. So how can they support, better programs and higher wages for farmers and farm workers when they don't know how much work goes into producing it? So I thought if I could give everyone who comes here just a small idea of how hard it is and how complicated it is to produce food, then they might vote yes when it comes time to take care of our farmers.
The Regenerative Education Alliance is a almost two-year-old nonprofit that focuses on regenerative agriculture, where our pillars really are the intersection of 4 concepts or values. We like to say make your case, because the acronym conveniently spells out CASE: community, agriculture, students, and the environment. So we are a group of people working together on the intersection of those 4 things. So if I could look at like 5 years or 10 years into the future, I would love that we're part of the same circles that our larger farms are part of, and we're all working together to figure out how can we grow food in the most sustainable way possible. But since we're young and since we're new, we sort of started small with what are our Petaluma-based farms, stores, businesses, supporters, families that believe in supporting students that want to get into the field of supplying food and calories for their community. Right now we're in a location called the Deviled Eggery. This space serves as our indoor classroom, and then outdoor we kind of get to have a bit of a laboratory vibe. And so the space that we'll walk around is just these little sections of land that we've given to REA students to practice some of the things that they're learning inside the classroom and put them to use. This garden is part of the Deviled Eggery's community garden network, where over the last 4 years, between this garden and several others in the community, we've been able to donate over 25,000 servings of vegetables that mostly go to Univita and other food banks in the community to be distributed to low-income families. So we use this to teach students how to grow food.
In order to have healthy and productive food, you need to get the microbiome very healthy, and that includes having bees and butterflies and other insects that pollinate, right? Because that's how we get our fruits and vegetables. So to encourage them as well for our garden, but also to sort of build better soil, we were like, let's sort of bring back the natives. The microbiome that's in the dirt, the birds and bees and butterflies, the insects and all those sorts of things are accustomed to feasting and living and otherwise in native plants. This tree here is a coast live oak, and a coast live oak has well over 500 species that it supports. Just this single oak tree can support well over 500 species. Now that compares to another very good tree might support 200 species. Plenty of trees that you see around the streets, maples and so forth, they're often supporting anywhere from 10 to 50 species. So this is like an order of magnitude more valuable. It's a keystone species. And by just having this tree, we get a quantity of bugs, insects, and so forth that then are able to come to our garden and pollinate. Native plants like these poppies, of course, that are beautiful this time of year. These all attract not only honeybees, the European honeybees that we're all accustomed to pollinating, but a lot of native bees too. And the combination of all those bees makes sure that everything can get pollinated, sort of when they need to get pollinated. They come at different seasons, they like different kinds of plants. We are also interested in some of the cultural significance of certain plants that indigenous populations, because we're on stolen land here, had nurtured and maintained for centuries. And so we wanted to start reintroducing those that used to be here no longer were. And when we came here, we were trying to get a few of those back. It's a slow process, but we've been working on that as well.
Our main focus is our internship program for high schoolers that are interested in not just agriculture, but learning how to grow food in a way that's environmentally sustainable, that's good for the soil, that's good for the air, that's good for humans, that's good for the climate, that sequesters carbon out of the air and puts it in the soil right where it belongs. So it overlaps with a lot of other agricultural educational programs, but with a deep focus on regenerative agriculture specifically.
This program has helped me a lot with understanding how connected our environment and agriculture is to our food supply, which is really important, I think, especially with, like I said before, like food insecurity and stuff like that. I think it's just a perspective about what you're eating and then how it might affect the world around you. So yeah, I think it's definitely interest that's been sparked through the program. So this farm is a partnership with our REA. We focus on regenerative agriculture. So practices that help the earth while also getting us food, because there's like this cycle of needing food but then using the land in the wrong way, which causes more food insecurity. So regenerative agriculture is fixing that by keeping soil healthy so the cycle doesn't get broken, so we can have more sustainable really food sources and like environment. Yeah.
So I spend about 2 hours a day running my farm, doing the farm chores, taking care of the animals and all those things. And the rest of it is marketing and teaching and developing curriculum and working with Mary Beth, with the community. And I love it. A lot of my methods wouldn't be suitable on a production farm the way they are run now, because the profit margin is so slim that there is not a lot of room for experimentation on a production farm. Whereas here, I don't have to worry so much about selling the food, so I can afford to take risks and do things differently and do experiments and let the students do experiments and not worry about the students making mistakes, because the goal is the teaching.
We're talking about agriculture and producing food. Teenagers today are the ones that are going to be producing food in the future for their generation and their kids' generation. So the more we invest in this up and coming generation, invest in them, on teaching them how to grow food in a way that's sustainable, the better their future and their children's future is going to be.
One of my goals is for people to have these experiences so that they know a little bit more about what's involved in growing food, so that they appreciate farmers more, and then farmers can hopefully somehow, some way find a living wage. That's my goal, so that we can have more food and more food security.